Okay, I just want to welcome everybody today. You are my most loyal class. I appreciate you being here. We're going to change it up today and do things a little bit different, and I hope this will be a really special class for you. So as we know, there are 3 levels of Qigong. So there's the physical, while we're doing our forms and doing the practice. And then there's the mental, as we're visualizing, or the Neigong. And then there's the spiritual side of it. And anciently, when it was practiced by the warriors, it was as much a spiritual practice as it was a physical practice. And so today we're going to bring more of that element into it. So that's called the heavenly Qi, or divine Qi. And so we've done this once before, but I want, now that we have a little bit larger circle, what we're going to cover today is I put together something called a protective Qi practice. And the reason that I did that is there's some different schools of thought on our energy and what we bring in or what we don't bring in. So in Reiki, there are a lot of Reiki practitioners that are massage therapists. They believe that you can't ever bring in any negative energy, that you can't absorb any negative Qi. But as massage therapists, even 31 years ago when I learned, they talked to us about creating protective boundaries in our mind so that we don't take on the Qi and they didn't call it Qi, but the negative energy that's causing the illness or the postural patterns or the trauma, that kind of thing. So that's been more of my experience, that yes, you can take on negative Qi. I'm sure you've all had the experience of walking into either a home or someplace that just kind of made the hair rise up on the back of your neck and you just felt like you didn't want to be there. So that would be a really good example of negative Qi. And so in Chinese cultural medicine, there's yin and yang, light and dark, and in many cultures, good and evil. And so what I did is I put together a practice that's kind of a combination of my martial arts training, and I'll tell you about a boundary exercise that I learned in massage school. It'll make a lot of sense to you. And then what this practice does is it combines some of the Qigong moves and a lot of visualizing of creating a protective boundary around you, your own little Qi sphere. So in martial arts, we talk about that we have a 3-foot boundary around us, that we have emotionally, mentally. We don't let anyone in that boundary unless you've done it intentionally, because the opportunity to be attacked or victimized is much greater when they're right here. So if we wanted to think about that more in spiritual terms, you only want people in your inner circle, your protective boundary, that share the same energy or resonance with you. So in music, I was a voice major. In music, we talk about sympathetic resonance. And what that means is, when I was in college, I was a voice major, and we had to practice singing, of course. And so they would give us practice rooms that had a huge, full-size grand piano in it. And when I would do my scales without touching the piano, when I would sing a note, the piano would echo. It would vibrate that note back to me. The vibration from my voice to the piano caused that string, the note that I was singing, to vibrate. And we're not a lot different as people. We have sympathetic resonance. And so we want to make sure that we're at least aware of that so that we can change that resonance in ourselves if we need to, or in our environment. It's an interesting practice. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of feng shui, and that's a Chinese practice. And basically that is creating an environment in your home that allows the Qi to flow. And it's a really important thing in their culture. When I was in real estate, they would bring in their feng shui consultant to see if the way that the house was sitting on the property and the way the rooms were laid out, whether that was going to be a good flow of Qi for them. So it's a big deal. But let me go back and talk about boundaries and why I think it is important. And what I did with this practice is to give you a visualization. You can take them home on your data sticks if you want to later. That will allow you to imagine in your mind and with your heart and spirit, inviting the spirit of light and truth to protect you so that you can take this boundary with you all day. So 2 things. In massage school, they wanted us to learn how to sense when we had a client on the table, and they, even though we tell me if I'm going too deep or whatever. Some people are too shy to do that. But if you are in tune with what's going on, you can feel they've just set up a boundary. They don't want me there, or they don't want me that deep. So what they had us do is we had a partner, and we had to close our eyes, and we had to imagine setting a boundary. We didn't tell our partner how far the boundary was from us. And then we had to visualize this perimeter of our boundary. And then the partner had to walk in and tell us where our boundary was and what that boundary felt like. So it was really intuitive, but I had a really powerful experience with that. So in my mind, because I've been assaulted more times than I can count, and so this was really important to me to be able to set a boundary. So I closed my eyes, and in my mind, it was about 6 feet out, and it was barbed wire and fire. It was like, I don't want anybody there. And so she walked up and she said, I am not going past this. And so the instructor said, why not? She said, it is dangerous. And she said, and it's really hot. And I said, wow, you really did pick up on that. So taking that forward about probably 20 years, I was alone at this, I'm pointing over there because it was the school, and I was walking, and as I was walking, a carload of young men, young thugs, got out, and beer bottles fell out of the car and broke on the ground. And I thought, oh no, I'm alone, and there are 5 young men kind of looking like there could be an issue here. And so I went into that boundary, and I sent the fire and the barbed wire as far as I could, and they looked up. And finally one of them, and this was so uncharacteristic because they were yelling and swearing, I mean they were carrying on until they felt this, and then one of them looks up and said, do you know where we might be able to throw away these beer bottles? I'm like, no. And I walked on unharmed, and I think that was, at least for me, a really powerful example of how our mind can help protect us. I do a lot of filming for a group, and we teach boundaries, and we teach boundary settings with our voice and with our mind and with our hands, and I've led that group a few times. So this is kind of a combination of all of that, but it's going to be more also on a spiritual realm, because I have experienced, and I do believe that sometimes there's negative energy that comes at us that we don't want. I do believe in good and evil. I do believe in God and the adversary of light and truth, the enemy, however you want to call that. And so this day will be about pushing out all the negative, all of the illness, all the trauma, all the difficulty, and bringing in the light and truth. Because I think that this group and people usually that come from massage in general are more enlightened, more aware of their environment, more aware that we are connected as brothers and sisters, that there are one race, the human race, and that we're stewards over one another in helping, and also stewards over the earth. And so that is kind of the theme or the course that this session will take today. And so just before I start, I just want to put it out there, because everyone has different beliefs, and I'm not here to force my beliefs on here. I am here to show you what was shown to me, to really give you the full practice so that you can choose which parts work for you and which don't, and you can edit them and change them as you wish. But when I was taught, and we'll be doing it today, the 9-breath prayer circle or manifestation circle, my first prayer circle was 800 people. And so we were all in this kind of a convoluted circle because there wasn't room to make a full circle. And we all held hands, and we did the 9-breath method that you know, and then we added the visualization to it, a prayer, and everyone had an extraordinary experience, regardless of their belief system, whether they were atheists, whether they were Hindu, whether they were whomever. And so, but in my belief system, I don't force spirituality or my belief system on anyone else. So just to put it out there, is everyone comfortable with doing the 9-breath prayer circle? That work for everybody? Yeah, okay. Because he doesn't ask. line them up and circle up, and they do it. And so to me, I think that that's the most personal part of our life. So I invite you to experience it with me. I think it's going to be really powerful. But first, what we're going to do then is I want to do the protective Qi practice. And so is there enough room for everybody, or do you feel later we'll be circling up tight because we'll be holding the hands and resting a hand on each other's knee. But is this enough room for you to just meditate? You feeling a little tight? Yeah. Okay. So you can scoot over. Just make your chairs even. So bring it all the way over onto the mat or not, just because I don't want you to sit askew. That will make your back unhappy. Oops, we're caught here on the back. Don't want you to fall. There we go. Okay, so this practice can be done with your eyes closed, and you should just be able to figure out what's going on by my voice. I've got it recorded here. If you have any questions, you can look up and see what I'm doing. And so we'll just go ahead and we'll start. This is called the Qi protective practice.
Qi protective practice. We will begin.
Sit up
with
on
open and
on your chairs
closed
a little bit more.
movements.
There we go. Unless you're super uncomfortable,
So
then
bring
you
your
can sit
arms out in front of you with the forearms horizontal. And now turn the palms to face each other. As we inhale, your hands will come out away from each other. And as we exhale, the palms will come closer together. Again, inhale, expanding and opening the arms. And exhale, slowly bringing the arms closer together. And now this time, I want you to visualize, as you breathe in, heavenly light, Qi, coming down from the heavens and flooding your entire body with Qi from the one true source of light and life. Exhale, bring your arms closer together. Again, inhale and imagine the Qi from all of the stars in the galaxies shining down on you, sending their Qi into your whole body. Exhale, bring your arms closer together. And from here, I want you to bring your right hand on top and your left hand on bottom, as if you're holding a sphere of Qi. Your top hand will be about shoulder height, clavicle height, and the lower hand will be around the height of your navel. And now just imagine this Qi ball has concentrated, vibrating, scintillating Qi. And we're going to concentrate it a little more by pulsing on the Qi. Breathe in, hold the breath and pulse. 1, 2, 3. Now exhale as you change hands, bringing the top hand to the bottom and the bottom hand to the top. From here, inhale, hold the breath and pulse. 1, 2, 3, and exhale, tracing your hands along your sphere of Qi, the ball of Qi. Top hand is now where the bottom hand was. Now you've changed. I want you to inhale and pulse on the Qi. 1, 2, 3. Feel it getting stronger as you exhale and slowly trace along the outer membrane of your ball of Qi. Feels a little like a deflated balloon or a soap bubble. Again, breathe in. Pulse on the chi. 1, 2, 3. Exhale and change hands. Bottom hand comes to the top. Top hand comes to the bottom. And from here, breathe in and pulse on the chi. 1, 2, 3. And from here, we're going to expand that chi ball into a very wide posture. Bring your arms out, top hand moves up, bottom hand moves down, until they're at a diagonal angle, facing each other with the palms. This is the yin-yang posture, wide, expansive, and opening. And feel the chi within this posture, between your palms. And from here, breathe in and pulse. 1, 2, 3. And as we did with the other sphere of chi, we'll trace along the outside edges of the membrane of chi between our hands, slowly changing hands. And when the palms are diagonal and facing one another and have changed positions with each other, I want you to inhale and pulse. 1, 2, 3. Concentrating that chi. Now exhale and change again. Rotating the hands, changing positions. And when they're diagonally facing each other, breathe in and pulse on the chi. 1, 2, 3. Now exhale. We'll do this again. Changing hands. Feel the vibrating chi between your palms. And now inhale and pulse again. 1, 2, 3. And this time, as we exhale, I want you to just bring your arms to center, with the forearms level with the ground and the palms facing each other. And from here, we'll do some open and close movements. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing, bringing them closer together. Inhale, opening. And exhale, feel the chi building. And inhale again. And exhale, this time bringing the hands all the way together into a prayer posture. So the palms are facing each other and touching. And now I want you to inhale, take that prayer posture, those prayer hands, and bring them up to rest onto your upper dantian. In other systems, it's called the third eye chakra. And from here, we are going to begin spiraling with our torso. And so, lean your torso to the right and the hips to the left, and then swing out in front, making a wide circle. And in back. What we're doing here with our prayer hands is creating a vortex or whirlpool motion, where we are inviting the heavenly chi, the chi from the one true source of light and life, to send the chi down through this spiral, this whirlpool, into our hands, where it will then be sent into our mind, our brain and intellect, and then through our entire body, filling us with light, peace, and the potential for extraordinary health. Now make the spiraling smaller. The circles are becoming smaller. See the light spiraling down. Feel it pulsing between your hands. Your palms may begin to sweat as the chi builds and grows. Send it into your brain and then let it flood through your whole body, mind, and spirit. See that our hands are like an invitation or an invocation, inviting light and chi from the heavenly source down into our minds and bodies, creating health and protection. And now, raise your hands up and turn the palms out to face away from your body. And then breathe in as we lower the arms and expand them out in a very large circle, slowly lowering the hands, creating a round shape as they lower down toward the ground. We are now creating our sphere of chi with this movement in our minds. And when our hands are now palm facing each other and pointed to the earth, we will scoop up the earth chi energy, the red chi from the earth, and bring it right into our navel center. Gentlemen, the right hand is on top. Ladies, the left hand on top as you stack your hands and bring that chi right into your navel center, your lower dantian. And now take a few deep breaths. Feel the peace of that. Again, breathe in and out. And now we're going to rub that chi in a circle shape. Hands are stacked. Just rub that chi in, seal it in. Rub it many times. Just sealing the chi in and preparing us for the next visualization. Bring your palms facing up and resting on your knees so that the palms face toward heaven. And we're going to begin rocking back and forth, gently rocking back and forth. And now you are intentionally enclosed in a protective boundary of divine substance, of chi. In this space, we can meditate, give thanks, invoke peace and protection as we rock within the chi. Now envision gathering the protective chi from the earth and bringing it into your sphere. Imagine bringing the protective chi from the heavens and bringing it into your sphere. The chi from the heaven is white and the chi from the earth is red. Bring them into your protective sphere. With your mind, envision the borders or boundaries of your chi sphere, front and back and side to side, completely encompassing you. This border is about 3 feet out from your body. It's a good idea to keep this protective boundary or sphere with your mind as you go about your day, and don't let anyone into this protective place, this boundary, without your permission. And try to only allow people who are also filled with light and resonating with the same energy. Be protective of your own energy. Now is the time as we rock back and forth peacefully, feeling the chi as we press forward with our body, the chi meets us. And as we press back with our body, the chi also presses back. Vary the movement from small to large. Now is the time to direct your mind to the source of all chi, the source of power and protection, the one true source, the Alpha and Omega, the Great Spirit, the universal intelligence, even God. In your own way, see divine chi flooding your chi protective sphere with light, blessings, inspiration, favor, and see that divine chi forcibly sending out any darkness, fear, confusion, contention, vulnerability, trauma, addictions, or illness. See the divine chi, the divine substance from the true source, sending to you anything that you do desire for good, and sending out anything out of your mind, your body, your memories, and out of your chi sphere that you no longer need. See the divine power and light forcing out the enemy of light. The enemy of divine potential is forcibly expelled from you and your protective sphere. Take a moment to give thanks for all your blessings. Feel the sphere. Gently rock side to side and feel the chi pressing against the side of your body as you peacefully rock back and forth. And feel the boundaries of your chi bubble or boundary with your mind. And press against it with your body. Feel the strength of the chi as it presses back against you. And with confidence know that you are enclosed from the outside world and anything you don't want or need in your life or body. Know that this is your protective, creative space where the divine chi, or the spirit of light and truth, can guide and direct and protect you, bringing divine knowledge and guidance for your life. Continue rocking back and forth and side to side, varying the size of that oscillation, big to small, and feel the peace of the belief and knowledge that you are divinely guided and protected. Now rock side to side and back and forth and embrace or embody the positive emotions that you want to feel in your body and life. Feel the peace within your sphere, vibrating with power, resonating with all you desire to receive for your highest good. Feel joy all through your being, like waves of light coursing through your body. Now feel yourself immersed in total love from the true source and from Mother Earth. Continue rocking side to side and back and forth, feeling your chi plasma all around you like divine substance. Here in this chi sphere, you can feel the chi, the living energy of the universe, and you can envision the life you are creating for the fulfillment of your highest good. Continue rocking gently back and forth and side to side, varying the movements, larger and then smaller. See yourself going through the activities of your day with abundant health, and feel how that feels all over your body to be optimally healthy. See yourself surrounded in peace and a protective shield in your chi sphere. Continue rocking side to side, back and forth. See yourself living in abundance financially and feel the joy, confidence, and peace that brings. Here in your protective chi sphere, you can embody the feelings you want to experience in your mind, body, and spirit anytime. You can stay in this meditative space, envisioning the fulfillment of goals and the embodiment of empowering feelings as long as you want. Know that you can intentionally carry this protective sphere filled with creation and protection from God everywhere you go, in any circumstances you may be faced with. And now, for the closing procedure, gently bring your mind to the encompassing feeling of gratitude to the true source for all your blessings, favor, and for life itself. Namaste. Chi protective practice.
And there it was.
We will begin
No, I thought it was
with open and close.
Okay. Feeling really sedate, a little lightheaded maybe. So rocking is extremely soothing to the nervous system and brings you into a nice, quiet, meditative state. I was thinking about telling you how there are new studies. It's a reasonably new branch of science called epigenetics. Epi means above. And so our DNA is fixed. We inherit that from our ancestors. But the epigenetics is coding that influences how our genes act. And that is based on our life experiences. And they have done the initial studies, many of them were done on trauma survivors, specifically Holocaust survivors' ancestors. So they found that this epigenetic coding, which tells which genes express, whether those are for health or whether those are for illness, whether those are for mental positivity or mental illness, were contained in the epigenetic code, which was altered for 4 generations past the initial trauma survivor. It's kind of scary. But because it is influenced by our experiences, we can influence the epigenetic coding by creating positive mental images, positive experiences in our life, which then help our health, which help literally the composition of our body, which genes are active. And I find that very empowering. It's very exciting. And I think that that has great implications for Qi. And so it's one of the things that I like to think about. Obviously, we know the power of visualization, but that new epigenetic science takes it to a whole nother level. There is a scientist that I like to study his works. His name is Bruce Lipton, and he wrote a book, the first one that I read, called The Biology of Belief. And the entire premise of it was that our beliefs influence our genes, and he had lots and lots of studies of how he could see that, and that was kind of the precursor to this epigenetic science. So I want you to know that it's not just all woo-woo, ethereal, spiritual mumbo jumbo. There's some real science behind it too. So I would invite any comments, any thoughts about that Qi protective practice that you'd like to share. Anyone? You're yeah. We'll want to. So the next thing we'll be doing, I find it really helps me bring my focus for the day. It helps me be ready for whatever energy might be coming toward me, and it helps me remember that I'm really more in charge of, or more in control of my environment and what's going on around me than we often think about. So it's being conscious of our environment. So I hope that will benefit you. And what we're going to do next will be 9 breath prayer circle or manifestation circle.